Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystal Lynn coming to you from Menifee, California. And I am excited, or at least feel necessary, to come on today and talk about what's going on astrologically and what's going on in our collective. It's so intense right now that it's really hard to put it all together. If you guys have looked at the chart, go and look at the chart. Just look at the actual what's going on in the zodiac. It is like an explosion of energy going every which way. And so we're feeling that. We're feeling that. And so many times people say, what does it mean when we're having an eclipse or a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse? Right now, today, as we speak, it is August 11th. It's 12:20 a.m. or p.m. here in California. And, you know, we're right here. The solar eclipse is happening. It's just making those transitions. This means that the sun is in Leo, the moon is in Leo, and we have the North Node in Leo. Okay? And then we have Mercury in Leo going retrograde. So what does all this mean? Well, it's interesting because when I was trying to make this video, I'm kind of just come out and make these videos. I feel like I just let the flow happen, what's going to happen in my lighting and different things. Sometimes it's based on my mood too, like where do I want to sit? You know, I have like this funny little thing that draws me to different places. So I decided to come sit under this beautiful pepper tree. And then I noticed that, oh, it's, you know, not very good lighting under here. Okay, you can see that. But then I thought about it. I said, that's a perfect example of an eclipse, the sun and the moon, that moment when they are, lined up together. The sun wants to come out, but the moon, the moon is covering that. So there's this part of us that also wants to go inward, wants to just kind of go down to the bottom of the ocean and let the waves come over, right? That moon, that emotional part. So the lighting is kind of like that. Like I want to come out, but the moon is, shading my energy. So I let it be what it's going to be. I don't know. That's my interpretation. It might sound a little kooky, but that's the kind of things I think about. So, wow. This is pretty intense. So I'm out here in Menifee, California. Many of you may have heard that, again, as we speak, the governor has announced a state of emergency here in California due to these incredible fires. Okay, in fact, if you can look behind me, I have no blue skies. This is all smoke coming through. And I know I shouldn't be out in it, but I am right now. It's hard because even when you're in the house, it comes through everywhere. I'm feeling really good. So, I'm about 20 to 30 miles away. So my ranch right now and everything is not in danger. But, it's coming through. The winds are picking up and blowing it out. But there was a man, 51-year-old man, having, neighbor issues for years, this buildup, right? Now, all we know is that they're claiming he was, in a mental state. In one of the videos of him, he's talking about being up for 29 days. Okay, so we see here that right now a lot of people are not doing very well. The energy that we have right now can really just short circuit what's going on inside. Many of you may have been experiencing loss of memory, like right in the middle of what you're saying, you forgetting what you're saying. You go to walk in a room. I mean, this is normal for, Pisces, let's say, normal life. But this is amplified like 100-fold right now because Neptune is in Pisces retrograde. It's retrograding back and dealing with and bringing out, because retrogrades can reveal things, okay? Retrogrades can reveal. And so maybe something on the outside looks one way and you don't think it's a problem. You know, people now are coming out and they're saying things that he said and all the little cues, all the little clues along the way, you know, until this final massive, you know, happening. People saw it, but it's, you know, it's like hindsight is 2020. What do you do? How do you handle these things? But with Neptune in Pisces going retrograde, it is bringing out, you know, a lot of mental instability right now for all of us. But some people are more affected, you know, if you're out there, if he's up for 29 days, you know, he could have been doing drugs, you know, that is a very dangerous thing to do. Even if you do have good health right now, you need to get your sleep right now. Okay. You have to get, you know, your 8 hours of sleep right now just to balance out what the astrological, you know, energy coming in that's affecting our bodies right now. So I'm kind of moving this into a little bit of a health discussion, but, you know, our health is affected when we're going through this, you know, between a lunar and a solar eclipse. Okay. So a lot of people get the flu. A lot of people get viruses. Right now with Neptune and Pisces, it rules viruses. Okay. It also rules like pneumonia. All right. Gemini rules the lungs, but Pisces rules, you know, all the thyroids and, you know, adrenal glands, all of those things. So those things are being revealed. With this intense Leo energy happening, you know, heart issues are on the table for a lot of people. Pay attention. You know, anxiety is extremely high right now. And it's so important to realize at this moment, you can't be running around with your head cut off. You have to get grounded. If you're having issues with people, if you're wanting to go tell them, if you're wanting to explode, you know, or this has happened to you right now and you're feeling like, you know, just devastated or how to retaliate, you know what? Now is the time more than ever to try to allow those issues to just flow by, okay? The eclipse will just take it from you, okay? To let it go. It's hard to do, let it go, and ground yourself right now because it's a very dangerous time when there's this much going on up in the sky for people, okay? Brings out a lot of things. So, I mean, I'm not trying to scare people, but I'm trying to deal with reality. Our whole entire California right now is on fire from arsons, okay? Now, I live about 30 miles from as the crow flies, from Lake Elsinore, from the fire, from the Ortega. But that is my town. I grew up water skiing in Lake Elsinore. I've worked in, like, you know, that's my town. I've lived there before. I've always lived by the water. You know, that's my moon in Pisces. And Lake Elsinore is a definitely moon in Pisces kind of vibe over there. It's very artistic, but has a lot of addiction, a lot of addicts. It just is an interesting, creative town. And it is on fire right now, all the way into Orange County. So, you know, if you haven't watched the news and you want to check it out, you know, and I'm trying to get in my heart, like, what does this mean? Like, why is this happening? You know, and I keep getting this feeling. It's only because it's trying to make good out of something bad, but it's saging all of California right now. I feel as this air comes through, as this wind comes through, that I feel like we're being all saged, you know, just moving out the dark energies. And that's trying to make a blessing out of it. Of course, I'm, you know, devastated that it's even happening. But I feel this saging going on through California right now. And I just wonder when all the dust settles, you know, if we just won't be that much better and that much more connected again. These kind of things bring people together in incredible ways, okay? Um, it can be a really beautiful thing, and it's interesting because Mars is in Aquarius, which rules communities coming together for causes, for a cause. Lots of people, a tribe of people coming together. And, that's what these devastating situations bring often. And it becomes an incredible thing when that happens. We see right now the firefighters, what they're doing and what they're showing us and how they're fighting for us. And they're even allowing or inmates to come, specific ones, and they're on the front lines and they're totally in it just to help save this area and people and homes. They're doing an amazing job. But this fire, I mean, the pictures, go look. It's called the Holy Fire. Okay, it's called the Holy Fire. I'm going to leave that to your feeling. I'm just trying to be honest and talk about some things. On the other side, let's talk a little bit off of, the bigger things right now. And let's just go a little more to our personal lives of what's happening. How many of you out there are feeling this huge feeling to go back in time, to go back to when you were a child, to reconnect with who you were at different stages in your life? That things are not coming back in your life for us, definitely in the Pluto and Virgo generation, coming back in your life from about 30 years ago, okay? That's because Saturn was in Capricorn in 88, 89, and now it's another Saturn return right now. But Saturn is really bringing back in Capricorn, like for us, many of us, and even if you're young, bringing into your life your values and the things you really learned. And yeah, my mom and dad taught me that. I forgot about that. I learned that when I was younger. I need that tool set. I left it behind, but that could be valuable right now. Interestingly enough for me, and I've shared a little bit about it, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about more. I was a mobile pet groomer for years, from the 1990s to the 2000s when I was in my 20s. Great little business, loved working with animals, loved working with water. I'm a sun in Virgo, moon in Pisces, so small animals in water, bathing is like my dream job. Just something I always loved to do, and I did for many years, and then I moved into horses and worked with horses for many years, and just in and out working with animals my whole life in different ways. And now, as I'm getting a little older, the mobile dog grooming business has come back into my life, and many of my old clients have come back. This is something I started in 1988. Saturn was in Capricorn, bringing this beautiful gift back to me after 30 years, handing it to me, bringing it to me. And my heart's ready. My heart's ready. And so, it's not that I'm not doing astrology and doing my channel. I'm also doing that, but it's actually a very healing thing for me right now to use my hands, to be around small animals. It's bringing me back to some stability in my life, because the energy has had us like floating around, and it's hard to ground yourself, and this is grounding me. So yeah, I'm making a little money, but I'm feeling grounded, and that's really what I need right now. So another interesting thing that happened is I found an old diary. Okay, I found an old diary. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, this is from 1980 when I was 11 years old. All right, so I'm a Virgo, okay, Sun, Jupiter, Virgo, and all my Virgos out there know we love to document. So this whole entire diary is just pages and pages. I had pictures of my little rats. I used to have little rats. I wanted to be a rat tamer, the rat whisperer when I was 11. I had turtles. I had birds, and we lived in the city, but my mother, also a Virgo, shared in this common thing for me and allowed me to really explore that part of me. And also, again, having this Pisces moon, it allowed me to develop and intuitively develop a language with animals that I would need so much later. Here at 50 years old, that girl, that energy, that rawness of taking on what I really loved is now supporting me in a good way, helping to support me in a good way, but it's also this incredible part of my life at 50. I'm turning 50 this year. Okay, I'm trying to say the words. So anyway, I know I'm going off, but how about you guys? Are you going back and having memories of your childhood or finding things or connecting or old friends? Um, this is all of us that's calling us backwards. It's calling us back to the past. And what it's doing for me, it's like a little girl that I disconnected from. It's like this little girl that was just new in life and fresh and, daydreaming and having little girlfriends and loving everybody, to this kind of now 50-year-old cynical, don't trust anybody woman. It's like, oh, how sad that I can look back what happened to this girl, and she was so excited to just live life and experience everything. So I was going to share a couple little messages in here that I wrote. Interestingly enough, and I believe this was also the beginning of my astrological, understanding, was I dated and timed everything that I wrote. I put the time on it. Why would an 11-year-old girl write the time that she was writing everything or the time I was doing things? I have the time all over this diary at 11 years old. And so it's also showing me, oh, this gift I have in astrology was happening early, numbers and times. I wrote every single date. Okay, every single date. But this one was on a little free page I had, and I want to share this with you. Again, I really feel that this was part of the Pisces energy in me. It allows me to kind of go back and see as a child some of these talents and gifts coming out. I also have a Pisces rising, and so sometimes I really get in conflict with this opposition in my life. Being born on a full moon, having the sun in Virgo, moon in Pisces, I struggle. But here in this little Virgo diary, there's a little Pisces message in here, a little prophetic message that would come true 40 years later. So the title is Daydreaming. Okay, I will show you the words, but daydreaming. I love to daydream. I think it is so fun. I always daydream when I'm bored, and I daydream about having a brother and a sister. I wish I did have a sister or a brother so much. Maybe one day my dreams will come true. This is what I wrote July 1st of 1980. And interestingly enough, at 45 years old, it came out that I do have a brother and a sister. And I met them, and I connected with them. And it was something that came out. But here as a young girl, this daydream that I kept having was yearning for this brother and sister that I didn't have. And so I want to show you how cool connections can be, or ability to feel something maybe. I mean, why would that be the most important thing, the most important daydream for me at 11 years old? Okay, so that's, to me, really cool to be able to go back and see. I have a couple things marked here. Let me see what this one was. Oh, this one was on March 22nd, 1980. I remember this story, but I didn't know I wrote it down. I'm just going to talk briefly that a girlfriend of mine and I was taken to what's called a forest home. It was a big forest that people could walk in, and I was 11. I'd never been in anything like that. Loved animals, so I was in heaven. And we came upon this cave, and we saw 3 dead mice and baby owls. There was 3 baby owls in this little nest, and I was just taken over by this happening at that time. And the mother owl was flying around, and I remembered this story. But again, I'm reading it word for word. And that owl, those owls came into my life at 11 years old, that totem. If you go and read about the owl, it is just to be able to connect with an owl and have that connection at 11 and have it come into my life like that. Very significant stuff. Very significant moments that are coming back to me to show me that the universe has all had my back all along. Had my back all along. I think there was one more thing I wanted to share. Oh, this one was on June 27th, and these are all a couple weeks ago. I really like writing in my diary, but if anybody ever saw it, I would totally die. And I'm thinking that's probably that Virgo going on, wanting to keep those secrets. The 12th house coming back in my life. This has been very healing for me to reconnect with a young girl and her spirit that I lost. And it's opening me up again. It's showing me how it's emotional to me. That's why I've kind of been emotional today. So if my face looks a little emotional, I have been on this solar eclipse, allowing this healing to come through. Allowing this girl, the writer, which here I am, I've been pursuing a writing career, really just the art of writing, even if it's not a career, to write is my gifting. I've put it aside the last couple years, going through some intense emotional transitions. And I've been getting nervous. Will I lose that gift? I went to school. I've been honing it in all these years. And it's just a period of time that I needed to do some work on me before I can write it down in perspective. The universe had to pull me aside a little bit. And here this comes out, and I see the gift. And it ignites me. It's ignited me to start writing again. So, I don't know, you guys. I know I'm sharing some of my stories. There's a lot of astrological stuff going on. Jupiter's in Scorpio, going direct. We have a lot of retrogrades, so we're dealing with the past, reconnecting with old friends, old people, quality people that maybe we really missed. Our circles are tight right now. Saturn in Capricorn isn't about having a lot of friends. It's about the back porch friends. The friends that even have a lot of money, but they're walking around, scruffy in their old trucks. They're not showing off. It's those kind of people with wisdom in your life. It's a small circle. And it's hard because right now this Leo energy wants us to get out there and have some fun. And we need to balance that out. So we are. I don't know what to tell you guys. Look where this eclipse is in your houses, in your birth chart. I have Mars and Leo in my 6th house of health, of hidden enemies, of daily routines. And so that's what's being lit up. And so I've been working on my health. I've been paying attention. I've had to go to the doctor and make sure everything's good and all of those things that are kind of scary. But here I am on the eclipse, and I've done all that work, and I'm healthy. I'm good. Everything's great. It just brings me to a place of, okay, let's start again. Let's take everything we've learned. Let all the bad stuff just go into the ocean. Neptune and Pisces, let it just retrograde it in there and handle it all. The ocean's big enough. Let it go. Let it go. So, you guys, thank you. I just wanted to share a few things. I don't want to get too long-winded. If you have any questions or you want to go deep into astrology, go into a reading, I go there. I customize my readings for you. So whatever questions you have, wherever you are in life, that's what we hit right out the gate. Okay? So anyway, give me a ring at crystallyn68@gmail.com. I'll put it below, or cowgirlastrologer.com. Hope to hear from you guys, and I hope you're all doing well. Be safe. Hang low for the next week. Breathe, and we'll get through this together. Okay? Say prayers for these fires in California right now. We really need it. Thanks, you guys. Bye.